Today, we're at EPCOT because we got some big EPCOT news. In fact, this is news that you're probably already aware of, and I'm sure everyone's talking about. The virtual queue is dead. Well, for now at least. So for those of you who aren't necessarily familiar with the way that things work here at Walt Disney World, there are a few different ways that you can experience attractions. Of course, there are standby lines. That's when you just walk up to an attraction, get in line, and ride. Then we have a lightning lane. It's previously Fast Pass. It's a skip the line service. You pay a little extra for access to that lane. But there's the third option, and that third option is called a virtual queue. Now, virtual queues are free, and they're available on select attractions here at Walt Disney World. Generally speaking, it's new attractions. You know, it helps Disney figure out how to manage the crowd, which makes it rather useful. But here's the thing about the virtual queue. It's a little tricky. You gotta know how to get it, and that can be a little difficult, especially for first-time guests. But it also has some really nice benefits of using virtual queue, because rather than waiting in line all day for a really popular attraction, you can go on other attractions, eat, hang out, do whatever it is that you want to do, and then when you're called, you have a relatively short wait until you can get on whatever ride it is that you got a virtual queue for. But these things don't last forever, despite what some people think, especially for Cosmic Rewind, which has had a virtual queue for a really long time. They're here for a bit, and then they go away, and today is that day. Not only here at EPCOT for Cosmic Rewind, but also over at Magic Kingdom for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So I want to check out the situation. I want to see what it looks like for the first day that we don't have virtual queue here at EPCOT, but we're going to do this with a little bit of caution, okay? Because there's something that you need to know. This is day one, okay? It is the clunkiest of days. It is the most highly anticipated of days. And so it might be kind of wild today, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be wild forever. So we're going to look. I'm going to show you what the situation is, and then we're going to move on with our day, and we'll check back on our way out. Does that sound good to you? All right, first things first, let's find a spot where we can check the wait time for Cosmic Rewind. So here we are in our handy dandy My Disney Experience app. It is 12 minutes after the park has opened for day guests. We're going to tap right here and scroll on over. And as we can see, Cosmic Rewind has a 45-minute wait. Not too bad. But let's wander over that direction and see what the actual queue looks like. I can't imagine that it'll look that bad from the outside because, of course, there's a lot of indoor queue, but there is an extended queue outside as well. Speaking of extended queue, what's going on over here? So this is a little, it says Festival Market, but they sell pins. What pins dropped today that there's such a line? Let's take a look at that line first, since we're just, you know, hanging around. That is quite the queue we've got going here. Okay, it's not super duper terrible, but still, something special must have dropped. Part of me wants to know what it is, but also I don't, because I don't want to know what I'm missing out on, because number one, I don't want to wait in that line. But number two, if I do wait in that line, I mean, who's to say that whatever it is isn't sold out by the time I get to the front? So anyway, to Cosmic Rewind. Also, as we stroll around today, keep in mind that we do have topiaries up for Flower and Garden, which is right around the corner. It's actually my favorite festival here at EPCOT. All right, so it looks like we can't get over to Cosmic Rewind from here. We have to go around the corner. In fact, a lot of things are blocked off, but before we make our way over, look at how rough that's looking. Haven't noticed that, but I also haven't been back here in a bit. All right, so right by Wonders of Life, it looks like this is where the line is starting for Cosmic Rewind, and it is winding that direction. I don't think I'm gonna head back there now, obviously, because I don't wanna get in line, but it's not that bad of a line, only a 45-minute wait. We're gonna keep moving though, because number one, I wanna do a lap, but also I wanna give the line some time, you know, see what it looks like when and if it gets any worse. I mean, I anticipate that it will, of course, as more people get here. And as the weather clears up a little bit, I'm sure that more people will want to ride, but I'm very curious to see how bad it gets even by midday. You know, like I said, on one hand, it is the first day that you can just get in line to ride. But on the other hand, It's not been so great on first days before, so maybe people are steering clear. I don't know. Let me know what you would do though. Would you be rushing here for day one, or would you be like, I can wait? Personally, I feel like I've had so many negative opening day experiences that I'm like, it's just not worth it, you know? Give it like 2 or 3 days. But of course, I'd love to hear what you would do, you know? Not only if you were me, but just if you were here. So tell me all about it. My Mexico fans can rejoice. We're starting here today. Looks like we have a new sign for the refurbishment of the Grand Fiesta Tour, which is nice. Before it was just like a black tarp. So it's nice that they put in a smidge of effort. We are skedaddling right along today. We've made our way to Germany, past the refreshment outpost, past China, past Norway. Only so much going on here at the park today. Of course, we're in between festivals. You know, Festival of the Arts has wrapped up and Flower and Garden is right around the corner. But it hasn't started quite yet, which makes this a unique moment here at Walt Disney World. More specifically here at EPCOT. Tends to be a little bit quieter, a little less people around. So, especially if you want to enjoy the park for what it is without all the festival, you know, ness, the festival festivities, if you will, this can be a good time to visit. I know a lot of people are like, oh, why would you visit during that time? But like, this is what the park was before it was just one festival after another. Now look, don't let the lack of festival here at EPCOT fool you into thinking that there's nothing going on, because that could not be farther from the truth. There are some amazing foods available here, 365, entertainment, shopping. Like, sometimes I think people, they get a little hung up on the festival offerings and they forget that like there's some of that here every day. So don't get fooled into thinking that if you can't be here for a festival, you can't, you know, taste and drink around the world. You definitely can. All right, back to a little bit of business. We have some work happening here at Italy, or at the Italy Pavilion, I should say. There seems to be a little bit going on pretty much everywhere. You know, we focused on Magic Kingdom the other day because there's like so much happening over there right now, but little things are always happening no matter where you go, and EPCOT is no exception. Also, barges are out. Normally they're not, but they might be testing or working on something, so now you know if you were interested. They're not always away. We almost got taken out by that seagull, by the way. Man, wouldn't that have been a viral moment? I'm always kind of counting down the days until my next bird-related incident here at the Walt Disney World Resort. I had one back in, was it the late 90s, early 2000s? And I just feel really lucky that I haven't had anything happen since. But you know, the more that I'm here, I feel like the odds continue to stack up, not in my favor. So it's only a matter of time. And as often as I chat with you, I mean, do the math. There's a pretty good chance you're gonna see it happen. So, quick check-in. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Can we get a wait time? Cosmic Rewind is at 135 minutes at this time, and it is, let me check my handy dandy smartphone, 9:38. So, gives you an idea of how quickly that line went up. You know, part of me is like surprised, but not. I don't know. I feel like I'm not super surprised by this type of thing anymore. Like, you really shouldn't be surprised by it, right? But also, every once in a while, you're like, I didn't really see that going that way. But see, that's the thing. I didn't see it going that way. I didn't see it not going that way. Honestly, like I said, I had some thoughts, but not any like really strong opinions going in. But I want to jump into Mitsukoshi because there's a belt that I think I want to pick up, and I want to take a closer look and see what exactly my options are. So let's wander through and see what we're looking at. All right, here we are at the belts. They're pretty, right? I used to have stuff like this before. Lots of different options. Let me know which one you like the best, if you like any of them at all. Got some Sakura on this one. This blue is nice. These are all between $39 and $60, it looks like. So if you were curious, now you know. And they do have it in multiple sizes as well. I can't really decide on what I like best. I want it to be kind of neutral and go with everything that I wear because, you know, I'm practical like that, but I don't know. That's why I wanted to check in. Also, while I'm thinking about it, if you like Japanese goods, like the stuff you can find here at Mitsukoshi, we do have a new store that opened up. It's in Tampa, so it's not like super close. It's called Daiso. It's basically a dollar store, very popular in Japan. I used to shop there all the time. I haven't gone yet, but I plan on going soon and taking you with me. If you're interested in that, let me know. Also, let me know what you'd want me to keep an eye out for. Just about leaving the Japan Pavilion now and hopping on over to the location of what is usually one of my favorite gardens for Flower and Garden. I don't see anything set up yet. In past years, they've set up like a little bamboo fountain thing here. They have something similar set up over by, is it Katsura Grill up there? Like in that seating area that I love hanging out at. And the sound is just so nice. I love it. I love the sound of the bamboo. And I hope they bring it back this year. Of course, there's still time, you know, but nothing yet. Also, usually there's a topiary here as well that isn't up underneath the torii. But anyway, let's keep moving. Well, welcome to Canada. We've made our way all the way around, but one more stop before we exit World Showcase, and that is here at the Canada Pavilion. We have some construction walls here and some work happening just beyond those construction walls. I mentioned this the other day. We don't really know what's going on back here. We don't. It's like this big mystery project that everyone's speculating about, but no one really has a clue as to what's happening. I've heard people say that they think it's going to be a lounge, whether that's just a lounge in general or for DVC members. I've heard people say that they think it's going to be a bar or something like that, but we don't really know. So, like so many other things here at Walt Disney World, we wait. All right, let's keep moving. I know I said this the other day, but I'm going to say it again now if you happen to miss that conversation. I'm very neutral on the lounge situation. We have, we have another lounge coming here to EPCOT at Spaceship Earth, and we'll actually take a look at that before we leave today, in case you're wondering where exactly that's going to be. And then we have that Pirate Lounge coming to Magic Kingdom. I don't know how I feel about it. It's not that I'm anti-lounge, you know, but my goodness, we just came so close to another bird-related incident. I can't even tell you. Anyway, I'm not anti-lounge. I think they have their place, but I'm just not pro what the lounges here tend to be. Like, they tend to be kind of small, hard to get into, and they have such a limited menu. Like, I don't know. So I'm excited for them sometimes because like the theming can be really cool, but in the same breath, I'm like, is it worth the wait for an overpriced cocktail and maybe a light bite? I don't know, you know? So if you have an opinion, let me know what it is. Also, I have a lot of really strong opinions when it comes to alcohol consumption here in the parks. We kind of talked about this the other day. I can't remember what conversation we were having or what the context was. And I want to be clear, I'm not anti, you know, drinking or anti any of that. Like, I can knock them back like the rest of them, and I enjoy doing that every now and again. But there's a time and a place, and sometimes I just don't feel like this is the time or the place. Anyway, it's a conversation for another day. For now, I want to make my way this direction to this little choke point that we talk about all the time. It was part of the EPCOT reimagining, these two food booths as well as this area, which was previously like a big green space. So this green space has kind of been the subject of a little bit of controversy because people don't really like it. It's just like a grassy area with picnic tables and some shade and fans, which is exactly what this park needs, especially because it is a park so heavily focused on festivals and eating and drinking and everything. And there are 2 new booths. There's this booth right here, and then there's another festival booth on the other side of it. But there's recently been some work happening on this space, and we know that it's going to be a playground. Now, in a previous discussion, I said that I wasn't happy with that decision, and I stand by that. I don't like the idea of that being a playground, certainly not permanently, but I learned the name of that playground, and I'm not sure that it's permanent or if it's just for flower and garden. We'll get more to that here in a second. But it looks like they did move some of the picnic tables out here into this walkway area. So the seating is kind of still here, though as you can see, there's no shade over here. So, you know, there's that, but there's still a place to eat. Anyway, I recently learned that this playground is going to be named after Stormalong Bay. And these 2 booths are going to be named after the Yacht and Beach Club. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but they are punny and I love it. So that makes me wonder if this playground is just temporary. It might be. And in that case, still not loving it because, again, this was such a useful space for enjoying the food that you could eat from these booths or elsewhere, but it makes me feel a little bit better to know that it might not stick around forever. So there's that. And like I've said before, I'm not anti-playground. I'm very pro-playground, actually. I know, there are attractions. There's a lot of stuff for kids to do, but kids need to unwind in a more like casual environment, and playgrounds can be a great place for that. So I'm glad that they're here in the parks. But I don't think that it's good to have that at the expense of places to sit in the shade, which this park and so many others lack severely. All right, so we're making our way over to the Seas. That's the one last stop that I want to make today before we duck out because, I mean, I don't know about you, but I can feel the rain. I can feel it on the way. It was pouring all day yesterday and it's not supposed to rain today, but my spidey senses are tingling. Anyway, on our way there, I noticed that this was all behind scrim. And this is really exciting news because this means the return of the butterfly garden here for Flower and Garden 2025. Now last year we wandered around the butterfly garden a lot. I absolutely love this part of Flower and Garden. It's a lot of fun. There are so many butterflies in there. And I know that one of you, more specifically one of our channel members, absolutely loves this. So now you know it's coming back and I can't wait to take you in there and just take it all in. Last stop of the day. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. Second to last stop of the day, the Seas. Now, recently we were talking about how the Seas has changed their manatee program, going away from long-term residents and toward short-term critical needs manatees. And so, for a while, a little while, we didn't have any manatees here at the Seas, but now we do. So we have to go say hello. Now, it does still look like the Seas is closing early, so that hasn't changed. But like I said, we do have some manatees here, so let's wander in there and say hello. All right, here we are at the manatees. My parents were just here the other day, my parents, aka the Boo Crew, and they said they were so cute because they were so small. And wow, they are pretty small. Oh, how cute, they're both eating. Now, from what I've heard, those manatees need to do a lot of chowing down because they need to gain some weight before they can be re-released into the wild. So I guess they're gonna hang out here and do that. Of course, you can learn more about these manatees by visiting the Seas and making your way up to the second floor. Sometimes they have some people there chatting about them and they have some information, so be sure to check it out. So our last order of business for today is to make our way back over to Cosmic Rewind. I want to take another look at that line and also check the wait time and see what we're looking at now. It's not quite lunchtime at this point, so it is still early, but we did just have a 135-minute wait not all that long ago. So let's stop back in, or stop back over, I should say, see what the wait time is, and look at what the line looks like. So I did just check the wait time, 65 minutes, which isn't bad at all. Also, they're no longer blocking this entrance, so we kind of just walked the normal way, the way that we usually walk, and looks like the line is mostly inside now. In fact, it doesn't even look like they're using the extended queue or much of it at all. Now, do keep in mind that just because they're not using the extended outdoor queue doesn't mean that there isn't a significant amount of line inside. There absolutely is for Cosmic Rewind, but you know, it is indoors, out of the rain, you got AC, so not a bad place to spend an hour. So the line died down at that pin booth, so I popped in just to see what the situation was, and it was my lucky day because there was a new pin, and it was for Pizza Rizzo, one of the most underrated and soon to be gone restaurants here at Walt Disney World. So there it is, part of the Dining with Disney series. I'm so glad I got my hands on this because I love this place. And no, it's not just because of the food, because the pizza's average at best. I haven't tried anything else because why would I? I like pizza, but the whole environment is just something else. I love just the vibes. I love the wedding room upstairs. It's a special place, but we'll talk more about it here in a bit when we make our way over, enjoy some food, and say our goodbyes to probably one of my favorite quick services in a park. But for now, we're making our way out. Before we do though, remember I said I wanted to show you where the lounge was, the Spaceship Earth lounge. It's right here. See all those windows? It's where the lounge is gonna be. I think you're gonna have some spectacular views of Luminous from that lounge, but I think that because it's gonna have spectacular views, it's gonna be near impossible to get into, especially in the evening. But let me know what you think. All right, well, we made our way back to the front of the park, and I think that about does it for our day here at EPCOT. I had a great time. It was nice to wander around, take a look at some of the work that's going on, see where they're at with setting up for Flower and Garden. Now, if you're interested in any other work that's happening, mainly over at Magic Kingdom, as well as some other little details about Walt Disney World in general, make your way over to our Magic Kingdom construction update. There you're gonna find a lot of other information that if you liked this, you might also be curious about. So I'll link that in the description down below so it's easy to find. Also, while I'm thinking about it, something that I didn't get to mention in that particular video, but I'm gonna mention it now, is that it looks like we're gonna finally get a replacement for the NBA experience over at Disney Springs. It's called Level 99, and it's gonna be like an indoor, it's honestly, okay, it's gonna be Disney Quest, but 2025. I know some of you might not necessarily remember Disney Quest, but it was like an indoor gaming area, and it looks like that's what we're gonna get in this space once again. Now, Disney isn't coming up with this on their own. Level 99 is an established third-party company. They're a chain, so they exist elsewhere. People seem to love it. Whether or not it's a good fit for Walt Disney World is yet to be seen, but I'm crossing my fingers that it's a success. I don't know what the timeline looks like for that, but I'll let you know what I know as soon as I know it. For today though, I think it's about time to head out. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Also, stay tuned to the channel here soon so that you can get an update on the rope drop process here at this park, because things have changed and I'm gonna tell you all about it. But for now, I'm off. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Until then, bye.